Hey guys, Max here for Slurv.com to bring you the GPP knowledge for Monday, May 9th. Today's slate is really interesting. There's tons of stacking options and also some weird pitching pricing on DraftKings. So let's jump right into it. So let's start with pitching. This is going to be a little more vague than usual as I'm not sure who the most popular plays are going to be today just yet. But I will gauge that throughout the day and, of course, let you know in the chat who I think the best plays are. So let's start with the most expensive option in Kluber. DraftKings pricing is genuinely pretty bizarre today. It seems like they really don't want you to play Kluber. He's by far the most expensive guy. And he's priced up to where usually we see guys like Kershaw and Arrieta. I don't think he's just quite there yet as a pitcher, but he's also facing an offense that strikes out a ton, but can also hit a ton of home runs in their home ballpark. I also think this is exactly what makes him a great GPP play today. His ownership should be down a ton due to the fact that we have some good bats to pay up for, and you won't be able to do that if you roster Kluber. I also think there's like 4 options in the 11K range where most people will gravitate to. So Kluber definitely makes for an interesting GPP play today. He's primarily a ground ball and strikeout pitcher, which is what we love in small ballparks like Houston, against a team that, like I said, strikes out a ton. So if you have the money, I think Kluber makes a great GPP play today. So let's go down to the 11K range and group Strasburg and Leicester together, as I think they will be the most popular options in that range today. I think they're both solid. Their matchups don't scare me at all, even though Strasburg is facing a Detroit offense that has some power. San Diego's better against left-handed pitching, and Leicester has an elevated strand percentage right now, which suggests that he should be allowing a bit more guys that he lets on base to score. But those are the only really warts that I see for him. Strasburg, like I said, is facing an imposing Detroit offense. However, he's at home where he's generally better and has shown some advanced pitching profile, the same pitching profile that he has shown in his past dominant years. So I really don't see any red flags with Strasburg. I think we can roster him at will today, but he will be popular. So I don't know how popular just yet, but I'll figure that out. Again, those I think are the two where most of the ownership will concentrate. Jose Fernandez has been a very polarizing figure in the fantasy community. Let me tell you where I stand in the debate on whether to roster him or not. To me, the stats for him speak for themselves. He's striking out a ridiculous 12.56 guys per 9, which is great. However, he's also allowing a career high of 4.28 walks per 9 and only throwing 47% of his pitches for strikes. So this basically limits his upside to 5 to 6 innings as he gets to 100 pitches, and they just don't let him go any further than that due to his recent injury history. So this limits his GPP upside, like I said, and he has literally shown 0% upside in his last 17 starts. Upside being a score that's half a deviation above his expected output based on salary. So while he's still priced up where he should be going 7 or 8 innings and throwing 120 pitchers, he is not. So the only problem today in fading Jose completely, based on what I said above, is his matchup. He gets the Brewers, who struggle against right-handed pitching in a huge ballpark at home. In all, I think his ownership will still be too high for him. So I suggest a fade here. King Felix is another guy priced around 11K, and I just never roster him at this price. He's not a great pitcher like he used to be in the past, and his velocity's down another 2 miles per hour this year. It's been down over the last couple of years already. So now he's just throwing 89, 90 miles an hour, and we're paying for him the same amount as basically we're paying for Strasburg, which just doesn't make any sense at all. So just fade here, and don't worry that his ownership is going to be low, because a fade in GPPs makes complete sense. Guys in the middle range, Mats is facing the Dodgers in LA. I think this is where a lot of people are going to go tonight for their SP2 or SP1. He has been on fire lately, and the only thing that can scare some people off is what the Dodgers did to Matt Moore with their right-handed hitters the other day. I don't see this happening today. I think Mats has good upside at his price, so the only reason to fade here will be ownership. I don't think his ownership is going to be high enough to merit a fade, so I suggest going with Mats here. I think he's a great option. Matt Moore is someone I actually am going to go back to today. He's too cheap for the upside that he presents in a matchup against Seattle on the road. The ballpark is great, and Seattle has too many lefties that they start every day. We saw what Keuchel did to them the other day, and Keuchel isn't as good a pitcher as he used to be, so I think he's somewhere in the same profile as Moore. So I think we can project him for a score in the mid-20s, and at 7K, that's presents great upside for GPPs. I suggest going with Moore today. I like him as an option. Aaron Sanchez has been super consistent lately also. He's on the road today in San Francisco, where we project him to pitch with a lead against Gaskin. That's PV. I always like pitchers that are going to pitch with a lead, as I think it takes a lot of the pressure off of them, and they can kind of just throw strikes and get people out. San Francisco offense does not strike out much, so I don't see too much upside here. But he's priced in the upper 6K range, which I think, we don't need a great score for him. We just need a good score. So I think he's another good option today. A couple guys that I think people will go to, or I will not. Buchholz against Oakland. He's only had really one good start, and that was his last start. So I think the box score watchers are going to target him heavily today. I also think, the ballpark plays a factor here, and Oakland is just has some good lefty hitters that I like here. I like Reddick a lot as a one-off. I don't think I will stack them, but I think they make sense as one-off hitters with Vogt and Reddick. Another guy that was really interestingly priced today was Sonny Gray for Oakland in Boston. He's someone we usually see in the 9K, 10K range today. He's in the 6K range. So as Admiral Akbar would say, I think it's a trap. Boston is hitting really well right now. The game is at Fenway. Gray doesn't do a lot of ground balls, which is something we like in a small ballpark. He has a bunch of negatives against him. His swinging rate is down to 8%. His hard contact rate is up, and his walk rate is way up this year. All this spells trouble against a really patient offense in the Red Sox. The price tag will entice a ton of people to go here today so they can pay up for the Coors Field bats, but I just don't see the upside at all. I think at best we get like a score in the 12 to 15 point range, and that's not somewhere I want to go in GPPs. In cash games, that's another story. Maybe he's somewhere we should go for cash, but definitely not for GPPs. So I think that's pretty much it for pitching. So let's jump right into the stacks here. Let's see. The first stack I want to start is in New York City. My lock of the day is that Chris Young is going to give up multiple bombs today. So all you have to do is figure out where those home runs are going to come from in the Yankees, and you should be golden. I like Teixeira, McCann, and Beltran here as the guys with the highest probability of going yard. Also, Gardner is a nice upside option for steals and some power at the top of the order for the Yankees here. On the Kansas City side, I like their lefty bats here. I like Morales and Hosmer. Hosmer has been on fire lately, so I think he's a good option today. Nationals are another stack I like against Anibal Sanchez. Excuse me, I love going against Sanchez because when he blows up big. Madden was amazingly smart as usual this weekend by walking Harper basically every at-bat and sweeping the Nationals in the process. I don't know if Detroit's going to be as smart today. I think Harper presents a ton of upside, along with Murphy, Rendon, and Zimmerman here. I like that stack against Detroit today. Let's go to Sonny Gray a bit again. If his ownership is going to be through the roof today due to his price, I think it makes a ton of sense to stack the Red Sox and take the other side here. I think the Red Sox present some upside here in the matchup against Sonny Gray. So let's go there. Also, if ownership looks high today, again, I'm going to give you these suggestions here, but always stop by in the Slurf chat room to really get where we should be concentrating throughout the day. Another stack I like here is Miami against Willie Peralta. I think they're going to fly under the radar with huge totals in Coors and Cincy. So I think they have a good chance of putting up a ton of runs in Miami today. They've been hitting really well lately, and I think they're a nice upside option today in their home ballpark. Like I just said, the Pirates and the Reds are going to shoot out today. At least that's what Vegas thinks. Nice is a fly ball pitcher in a small ballpark, and since he has a ton of right-handed power, Duvall on Cincinnati hits a home run basically every day. So he's always below like 5% owned, so as he hits 7th in the lineup. So I think he's a good spot. He's in a good spot again today. Pittsburgh is another good stack option. I really like Polanco here. He seems to have the best matchup, and he's hitting like 3rd or 4th. So he's a nice option along with all the other guys around him in the Pittsburgh order. Texas is in another good spot here against Miguel Gonzalez at home. Target their lefty power bats here. It should be really hot in Texas, which is conducive to the ball going a long way. The Twins against Tyler Wilson, I think, is another spot where people won't go as there's a ton of other bigger Vegas projected options. So the Twins offense, I think, will come alive today against Tyler Wilson, who does not strike out too many guys. I think my favorite stack are the Blue Jays. We usually see high ownership on them. I don't think that will be the case today, as the game is late and in San Francisco, not in the Toronto home park. I like the Blue Jays home run hitters to come up big here against PV, who has just blown up every single start this year. Last but not least, let's touch on Coors Field. I actually think Chatwood is the best pitcher that Colorado has had in a long time. He's dominated Arizona twice already on the road, and it's not like Arizona ballpark is not conducive to offense. It is. So I think if Arizona batters are going to have increased ownership due to Coors Field today, I think they will be in a good fade spot today for GPPs. Colorado hitters, I think, are in a very good spot against Archie Bradley, who's coming up from the minors where he's dominated to make a spot start. Colorado hitters are very expensive, so I think if we see that people are paying up for pitching on a slate like today in the 11K range, Colorado should have reduced ownership today. So I think maybe we can target some guys in the 7K and 9K range, like Matz and Moore, and stack up the Rockies today at reduced ownership. Again, stop by the Slurf chat room for all ownership updates throughout the day. I'm going to look at who the touts are going against and going for, and try to project some ownership. So that's about it for me today. If I don't win all the money, I hope one of you does. As per usual, stop by in the Slurf chat room. We will have lots of updates throughout the day by some very smart people. All right, guys, take it easy.